Hello everybody, this is going to be a super fast video to help you with your research. One of the most basic things that I can help you with is to show you some good websites and some good simple techniques that will help you to go straight to the resources that will help you. Most people go straight to Google, and that's not a terrible idea, but I'm going to suggest that when you get to Google, you actually go to a specific subset of Google. Two places in particular. One's called Google Books, and the other is called Google Scholar. Now, I put links up for them on the course page, but you can simply get to them by using Google to Google those places. So let's pretend I've gotten there already. I'm at Google Books, and you'll notice that what I've done here is I've actually searched for not only the term I want, but I made sure the term that I want to see are in quotation marks. This is an incredibly important thing. When I want to talk about fetal alcohol syndrome or fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, I'm going to make sure that those four words are actually in quotation marks. Then what happens is it will give me the sources that have those words exactly that way in exactly that order. The order has to be right, and so does the spelling. But I also want strategies. Now, I don't need it to be all one 5-word phrase, so I'm going to have that word be separate. But I want to make sure that they're all there. Hit enter, and let's see this comes up. Let's open up some of the books that are here. Now, some of the books that you'll get will only give you a few pages of preview, but that might be all you need. You might be able to see that the book has particular sections that you care about. And so you can see that this book has only got some of the pages, but if I go through and I find what I need on those pages, I'm in good shape. So I'm just scanning through some of them, but you can start to see some of the ingredients that you want. And you can go to the last pages of the book if you want to. This is a particularly useful tool. And I can look down here at the indices or index. And if they have some, then I can see where things are within the book and specifically go to them. Now, this particular book only has some pages, but you'll actually come across some that have almost all or all of their pages. And remember, you only need 1 or 2 pages in a whole book for it to be a good source. This particular one doesn't necessarily have a lot about strategies per se, but what it also has is the names of a variety of different authors, such as these here, and then I can utilize those to Google later on. Well, what if I go to Google Scholar and do the same thing? Let's take the terminology that I had, I'm going to plug it in here with the same quotation marks, and you see that this site looks up articles. Articles are really, really good. Now, this one is about prevention. Not terribly useful for me. This one's a book. Let's say, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's not useful, but I'm going to keep looking and see if I can find some strategies for intervention. Look at that. There's one that says strategies for intervention from a very reliable source, the National Institute for Health. I go to it, and there's an article that I can read. I can read the whole article in this case. That's wonderful. Articles are often highly technical. You don't need to read all of them. But one of the things I can do sometimes is just get this thing called the abstract here. And the abstract is just a quick summary of the article. Sometimes the abstract tells me all I need. So if I only can get the abstract, that necessarily isn't a problem. But sometimes I know I should read further because the abstract tells me it's valuable and I can go further. So that's how to find some journals. But what about looking on university websites? For example, this one's the Open University. And I've already Googled it using their own search bar to see whether or not they have sources that are connected to fetal alcohol syndrome, but they don't. So I would look, in this case, I chose to Google autism, and you can see that it had a number of works that I could take a look at, including in some cases up to 23 more. And one more thing to show you. Wikipedia is not considered to be a good source in most cases. I don't want you to use it. However, it is useful to look at it for 2 reasons. First, it can give you a bit of an intro to some of the terminology. It can help you to start looking up other things later on. And second of all, it can help you by, if you scroll down to the bottom, giving you a whole list of resources. By the way, this particular page looks like it might actually not be too bad. But look at all of these other sources. Let's click on one just randomly here about management and policy perspectives. Maybe not exactly what we're looking for, but I can click on it and there it is. The whole chapter is available to me and now I have that source. It takes a little bit of time to do research, But if you find 3, 4, 5 sources that are rich, you'll be in pretty good shape. So take the time to do that work and make sure as you do that you remember where you found these things, or even if you can turn them into exported PDF files, that you do that. You don't want later on to forget that it's available in a particular location and not be able to find it, which is a really common issue. Now, that's it for now, but if you need help finding sources, don't forget to ask, because I often have little tricks that I can help you with, and I may even have some books that I can help direct you to specifically. Okay, hope that helps.